Welcome home, Raiders! This week, patch 6.2.2 takes off on time in WoW, and we'll see what's new. Blizzard just went to DragonCon this weekend. We'll get the scoop and so much more. This is CTR 193.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the world of Warcraft.
Convert to Raid podcast power station in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is September 8th, 2015, and it is now 9:20 in the PM. A little bit of a late start today. That's okay. That's okay. It's nighttime. We can do that. We don't have to waste a whole day or anything like that. It's nighttime. I'm still getting used to this. All right. Well, thank you for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land. And hello, my name is Pat Crane. I'm your host of the show, also known as Zug around Airy Peak. And as always, the players are here. First up, we'll go to California to go visit our good friend Darius.
You should let me know what time you're free this week, because I think we should do a podcast at some point.
Right.
Like we missed.
Right. You're right.
We missed something last week.
You're right. We should do that more often.
Let me know.
Yep, we'll do. And enough of you. Get out of there. And our special guest this week is from the Converted podcast. It's a podcast about the CTR Guild community. It's our pal, Sal. Hey, Sal.
Howdy, hello.
How are you?
I'm super good. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited.
Well, we're glad to have you on. It's you know, the CTR Guild is a very big and important part of the CTR show, and that's where we get all of our material from. And you guys over there at the Converted kind of represent the community in a lot of ways, and so it's really cool. And you guys talk to like everybody, right?
Oh, we try. Yeah, we talk to a lot of people about a lot of different things, all part of the guild. But, you know, we talk to like the big time raiders, and we talk to the pet collectors, and we talk to the leaders of raid teams, and we talk to everybody, like all kinds of people like in our community.
We talk to the everybody.
Yeah.
I like it.
To the everybody.
I feel like I've never known someone to be so happy to be on the show. It kind of bugs me.
Shark was kind of excited last time.
Yeah, he was.
Man, you're so excited.
I know.
He was a ball of positivity. I really liked that show.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I do like him.
Everyone we
for
asked
sure.
to be on the show, they're like, "Oh, fine, I guess."
Well, that's only because we blame him for everything in games. In whatever game it is,
That's true.
we just blame Shark for everything. And he takes it like a pro, so it's all good. So Sal, let's get to know you a little bit. What do you do? What do you play in game? What character are you playing right now?
Oh, I am and always have been an Ellie Chamois, because as Darius would say, I don't want to play the easiest class in game. I've got lots of ults and I enjoy them. I love my rogue. My rogue is probably my favorite character, but my chamois Selmisis is like my number one go-to. That's me. That's totally me. And usually you'll see pictures of my character with big, thick black glasses on.
Right.
Yeah. I'll never switch from Sal.
I saw. I can't remember which artist did it. Who did your badge this year? Was it
my badge this year,
or was it last year? I'm not sure.
Last year.
I don't know which.
Okay, Ursangus did.
Okay.
And it's really good. I got it hanging up right here. And it's he got my my character off the armory, stuck black glasses on her, and then like our logo for the guild behind it.
That's cool.
It's like the most like the nicest thing ever. And then he presented it to me at BlizzCon. And I kind of knew he was going to make me a thing, and I knew that he had made Darius a badge too.
Yep.
And
he did.
Yeah, and I had seen that. And I thought it was cool, but I just about cried when Ursangus gave me this like really special thing about me, and there's glasses on my chamois, and I love it.
Aw, that's so nice.
It really is. He's the sweetest guy.
So, other than talking to everybody on the Converted show, what do you do? I mean, what's the main gig? Is it like it's all about the guild and all about the community, right? So you have on like some of the officers and regularly, as well as some people from the community. Is that it?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. If you're in CTR, you're welcome to come on. And we've had people who aren't in CTR. We've had Prize from Airy Peak, who's not really in Convert to Raid, but he's a big member of our community anyway. Yeah. So we had him on to talk about mythic raiding.
Yep. And he's with the Alone Guild, and the Alone Guild is great. They've been nothing but pleasant community members, and very very nice, and they're extremely good raiders. So we gotta give them the cred there for sure.
They've been really generous to our guild as well. And
absolutely.
Then last year, BlizzCon, the Alone Guild was hanging out with us the entire time, from like Wednesday night until like we all left on Sunday or Monday.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. So let's talk. We've been kind of asking everybody since the Legion stuff came out, what they think about Legion, what they're excited about, what they're looking forward to. What are your thoughts on the next expansion for World of Warcraft, Legion? What are you looking forward to?
Okay, the biggest thing is the Demon Hunter.
Okay, it's
like this kind of roguey, double jumpy class.
The double jump is cool.
Yeah. Like a wild star, but
no. No.
So I'm definitely gonna roll that. I won't main it just because I love my chamois so much. But I'm really, really excited that class looks so much fun. I guess the other thing is Illidan.
Right.
I want to see what happens. I mean, he's dead, but he's not dead. He's sort of dead.
He's definitely not dead in Legion. He's coming back, baby. That's what it's all about.
Well, they gave him a magic pill, with some chocolate on it, and he'll come back, and he'll be a good guy.
They had to wait at least an hour to make sure for full potency for it to work, right?
Gotta wait at least an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So
Darius doesn't know what we're talking about.
No, he has no idea about Princess Bride at all. It's okay. It's okay. All right, cool. Well, before we get into the news, I just have one thing before we actually get into the news, and that is I wanted to let everybody know, I think this just happened today, is that the Battlenet mobile authenticator updated. It's a small thing. It's
happened weeks ago.
No, it was it was a while back.
Was it?
Yeah, where you been?
I just looked at it today. They just posted something about it today. Why did it take so long?
It updated when I was at PAX.
What?
I remember. Yeah.
Well, I was away in Portland, so I had no idea what was going
Portland
on.
Doesn't have internet.
It doesn't. It doesn't. The hipsters won't allow it. It's totally true.
They have internet, but it's powered by a bicycle.
Well, this was posted 5 hours ago. The mobile.net mobile authenticator updated, and as far as I know, it happened this morning. That's all I know.
That's not true, though.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it's, as far as I know, that's what's true.
I believe you about the blog post.
Right. The blog post was 5 hours ago as of this recording. So, but it's kind of cool. And if you own an iPhone, you can get it updated to the cloud, so you don't have to worry about reconfiguring every single time.
Yeah, so that's nice. The app looks a lot better. It's better. It looks so much prettier, and it's faster. But the iCloud thing is great. If you lose your phone, which happens all the time, or even you just have to factory reset for whatever reason, you got to contact Blizzard, you got to prove who you are, all this other stuff. But now it'll sync up into the clouds. Yeah, which one of these days those clouds are going to come down because everything's up there. Like, there's no way they can hold all this stuff.
Right.
I don't understand.
I live and die on the cloud. Like, I do everything in my life except like Warcraft is on the cloud.
When you're up there, can you find my files? Because I can't find them. So if you could just look for them, that'd be great.
Just do a Google search, and they're right there.
Oh boy! All right, let's move into the news.
Calling all
Oh, hold on 1 second. I missed the music. All right, here we go. There we go.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening in the news for raiders around the World of Warcraft. And first up, we have to catch up with stuff over the last couple of weeks because we weren't on last week because I was in Portland and you were coming back from Seattle. Darius and Sal, you weren't here.
I wasn't.
No, you weren't. But 6.2.2 took flight on September 1 as promised. And it was like record downtime because it was only like 2 hours for this patch that was actually pretty meaty. I think there was a lot of things going on in it. So it took like 2 hours for the US, like 1 hour for EU, which is crazy. And then it was back up and everybody was flying. Well, not everybody.
Only if you had the achievement.
Sal, are you flying?
I'm flying, but I got the achievement a long time ago. But when I signed in, I expected there to be something, like a bling, you can fly now, or some kind of like quest or something. But instead, I just clicked my mount and pressed spacebar, and I was in the air. It's pretty anticlimactic to me.
All right.
It's true. I thought it was broken at first. When I first logged in, I was like, wait, there's nothing, like no achievement, nothing. And then I realized I'd already gotten all the achievements, but still just no fanfare at all. Just, yeah.
You can fly now.
Yeah. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I actually signed in on one of my like lower alts that was like level 92 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately I could fly. I'm like, oh,
nice.
I mean, good, but okay.
Yeah. See now, I just imagine that now that there's flight, that everybody's flying around their garrisons, kind of like they used to around capital cities. And that to me is...
I've realized that I've been doing all of my chores on my tunes in the last week by just mounting up on flying mounts, but forgetting I can fly and running everywhere still.
Oh,
and then
that's
I'll accidentally hit space and I'll be like, oh yeah, right, I can fly. Or
I believe I can fly.
So used to walking everywhere that it throws me off still a week later.
But I just kind of picture everybody flying around the garrison instead of flying around cap cities, and I think that's funny. It's trolly, I know, but it's funny to me. I don't know. Also, along with this patch, moving along, we have the PvP Mercenary Mode. And there is also now a deserter mechanic in Ashran, and I can't believe that there wasn't one before. Or if there was one before, it's now been updated. So, good.
Mercenary Mode's, I think it's pretty cool.
Have you tried it?
No. Well, I mean, I'm Alliance.
Oh, yeah. Everybody plays Alliance, so we don't have to worry about that. Right.
Yeah. But I'd like to... I'm interested in seeing like how it works and if it's successful and if we could like keep doing it.
Yep.
But I mean, there's the other changes too that maybe we don't need it anymore. I don't know, but I like the PvP badly, and I think everyone should just be able to like log on in PvP without having to worry about it.
Right, and I think you're right. I do really hope that this helps something with Mercenary Mode. I really hope that this helps with queue times. I hope that this helps with everything, just moving people through and getting people in there and having fun, because that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Right. We also have some new Timewalking loot changes, and they also updated it so that bonus events now start on Wednesday, 2 days earlier, right? And this, I'm going to give Blizzard a big applause. Because that's good. I know that I was having problems with weekends on this one.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really play much on weekends. It's more like weekday nights and stuff like that, and weekdays sometimes. So, Darius, how about you?
That's the same. Like I try not to play too much on the weekends, and I really don't want to have to devote a couple hours to running through these things. I know it's only once a month or so, but being able to do it on a Wednesday or a Thursday after raid is great, because we raid on Thursdays and everyone's still around and willing to do stuff. That I think that works out a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I saw the day that it hit. What was it, last Wednesday? someone on Reddit had actually posted a picture of one of their people in their guild had gotten the like 7,500 token mount already that day. They had just logged on and farmed all of them.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know how many dungeons that had to have been, but it was in the hundreds, I'm sure.
Wow. Because, I mean, there are two mounts, right? There's there's like a charger warhorse type of mount, and then there's a, whatchamacallit? A dragon something. I can't remember what it is. There's a couple of different mounts that you can get through Timewalking. And if you're getting a mount on the very first day, they said it was going to take like time. Like a lot of time.
Like a lot of time.
Like a lot of time. It's going to take a commitment.
The match was like 5 months to get it if you did basically the minimum every time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something like if you change it, I can't remember how much it was, but it was something like 200 or 300 if you were to chain them without that 500 bonus for doing it. So it's a lot, and that's just doing it on one tune. I know a lot of people are spreading it out where they'll run 2 or 3 or 4 alts through Timewalking, and they'll say, okay, this tune is going to be the one that gets the pet, and this one gets this mount, and this one gets this toy or whatever. That way, every time you do it, you're getting the 500 spread out across. You're not stacking them all up, but 7,500 in the first day when you only get 5 per boss or something like that is kind of nuts.
That's like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a lot of patience.
No mount is worth that to me.
No. Nothing.
I've got lots of mounts.
You need a lot of time for that to be able to do that, and that's hardcore, man. That is hardcore.
It's nuts.
For sure.
I don't know if anyone in the show has done that already. Let me know. I've got a curse code for you, and also a number for a doctor.
Yep, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah, but you should take a photo of it and send it to Board Mind.
Yeah. Do that. Oh man. Also on the 6.2.2, we've talked about this before. We have buffs for feral druids, monks, shadow priests. I think affliction mainly warlocks, and prot warriors, and nothing for Ellie shaman. Sorry. It's not like you guys really need it. You guys don't really need it, do you?
Shammies are doing okay right now. Yeah, we're fine.
Especially Ellie, right?
Yeah.
Those guys are doing all right.
We're fine.
And then we also have new racials for all horde-only races. So everybody on the horde side got a little bit of a bonus. And Darius, what actually happened? It wasn't like a big, huge buff, was it?
No, these are the ones that we talked about a couple weeks ago. But it's basically like Arcane Torrent, Rocket Barrage, Rocket Jump all got a 30-second reduction in cooldown. Hardiness got reduces duration of stun up 5% from 15 to 20. Same with Voodoo Shuffle. And War Stomp got a 30-second reduction. And the Undead Touch of the Grave now scales its damage based on 50% of attack power and spell power, whichever is greater. So not huge, but they're trying to get them kind of in line with what everyone says is way overpowered ones by Alliance. So,
and I don't know if that really takes care of it too much.
I don't think it's enough.
I have no idea.
It doesn't seem like enough. I mean, every man for himself is the reason why people play Alliance for PvP, right?
Right.
I mean, and I think that when we get into Legion, because they're doing all those PvP changes and because they're doing they're doing PvP talents, PvP only talents. I think that'll be a good time to kind of really even that out a lot more so that people can feel like they can play whatever they want. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
And it's not just Alliance, it's just humans. So everyone in PvP is a bunch of humans, like to me, this isn't enough.
Yeah,
it's for the mustache. I mean, let's be real. It's not for the racial. It's for the mustache.
It's for the porn stash. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Gotta like it.
Now that Bashiok's gone, it's just in honor. Bashiok.
It's just to remember Stashiok. Yep. Yes,
Stashiok.
Oh man,
he hasn't had that much mustache in a while.
No, he hasn't. But it actually got the cube next to him over at Blizz just before he left.
So, it's still on the payroll.
Yeah, it's still over there hanging out, doing its thing, looking beautiful. So I mean that's kind of all the things that happened in 6.2.2. Was there? I mean there were some more things as well, some little changes here and there and whatnot. And of course, I think that flying was the big thing. It took a lot longer than they thought because of all the different problems that they were running into, all the different glitches and whatnots from flying. I think we remember this from Mists, right? Didn't they have kind of similar issues with Mists and flying when it first took off, like people getting dismounted and stuff like that?
They had that, but you could always fly when you hit 90 there. But when people hit 90, you would go into a different zone. Like say you had someone on your back, like you're carrying somebody, they would fall off. So you would kill like your rider, like if you're riding the like any of the 2-seater mounts.
Right.
I remember that.
And
that was the best.
Actually, it was Cataclysm where everything got screwy, right? It was like all these different zones had series of different problems when they unleashed flying again because they had recreated the world essentially. And so I remember it during that time too, if I recall correctly.
Speaking of double-seated, again, from Reddit, someone posted a picture of them running an Uber service for WoW. They would just pick people up at their garrison on their 2-seater mount, people without flying, and they would fly them around.
Is there an app for that?
There should be. I thought it was pretty clever.
Nice. I like it. Uber for WoW.
Yeah, Uber for WAD.
I use Uber for grocery shopping just down the street. Like if I've got a lot of bags or something, so.
But imagine if they could pick you up on a flying dragon.
Right. That would be cool.
What I'm saying is, like, maybe you can meet someone outside their garrison and like fly them to the shipyard. Like, is that something people are doing? And how much would you pay?
No, because everybody has the shipboard in their garrison now, so it's all cool, right? Most
my alt doesn't.
Oh, that's true.
My main does.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, let's talk after this, and I'll throw a price out, and we can figure something out. We can start a business here.
starting businesses. That's what we do.
That's trademarked and patent. Nobody steal that from me.
Nah. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about DragonCon. DragonCon was this weekend in Atlanta, and Jonathan LeCraft, who is a senior game designer over at Blizzard for WoW, made a little appearance there over the weekend, and he had a bunch of stuff to say, and we have a bunch of different highlights. I want to see from you guys what stuck out for you as far as some of these things. And Darius, what stood out for you on the stuff that John had to say about Legion?
The Demon Hunter starting at level 98, I thought was a little low. I would have expected maybe 100 or 95, 90 rather. But the 98 thing seems kind of weird. It makes me think that there's probably going to be 2 levels right off the bat, kind of like with Death Knights, where they had where it was just like intro quest, instanced area kind of thing. But I was expecting 100 on that though. But I guess you'll be 100 pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, it was that. It's going to be just like Death Knights. When they came in, it was level 55, and they'll still be at level 55 for those guys that are curious. They're not changing anything with the Death Knight experience. But yeah, so Demon Hunters will start at 98. They'll have a little intro thing. Then they'll kick into Legion at 100 after the beginning experience, and off you go. I
also really, really like that they've said that there's going to be the new transmog system, and it's going to be account-wide.
Yes.
That is something that they've needed for a long time with transmog.
Should we do another? We'll do another one of those.
Yes.
I would very much like it to be just like how Diablo does it too.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, as soon as you can pick up the item, it goes in there, and you don't have to fill your bags with it and all this other stuff. It's just, you've learned, what it looks like. You've learned how to look like it. So, I guess.
You've learned the style.
Yeah, and you can save it, and then it just goes, all right, it's saved, it's cool, you're good to go, and then you can transmog to that anytime. And the cool thing is that you can do it account wide, and then, but you got to remember that any transmog that you do has to match up. So like the weapons have to match up, The different does cloth and mail and leather still matter? I think it does.
Yes. Yeah, you
So-
have to be able to use that. Like
Right.
the item, it says the item must be usable by the class trying to use it. So
Right.
there's all that stuff still, which is fine. I mean, I don't think they should ever change that,
Mhm.
but just this whole system so much better.
Sal, anything stand out to you in all the stuff that he said over at DragonCon?
Yeah, the big thing that makes me think, and I kind of think it's going to be changed, is double jump won't be disabled anywhere. To me, I'm just screaming in my head, PvP. How is that going to work when people can jump on top of buildings when they weren't able to do that before?
It's going to be weird.
I think it'll probably just be a whole lot of invisible walls.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Blizzard's pretty good at those.
But are they going to go back? Yeah, are they going to go back to all the old like PvP maps and put invisible walls? They could.
Yeah.
But then
It
they
would-
should update all the maps, too. Wouldn't
No.
that be? Oh. All right.
Get out of here.
All right.
Boomkins are getting an update though.
Yay! Boomkins!
We'll do that.
My brothers and
They
sisters.
Did they show any photos though?
No.
No.
They didn't show any photos. And we have the updated feral mount. And, of course, this is with the weapon, with the new artifact weapon, right? So
Yeah.
we'll get all that stuff. I do have the feral one right here. There it is. It looks pretty cool. And, it's just a nice little update. And hopefully they'll do the same thing for all the boomkins out there. It'll be cool.
I'm sure they will. And
Yeah.
I always kind of assumed they would. But
Yeah,
they just didn't mention it at Gamescom.
right. Right. They forgot that there were other druids that are out there. I hope they do the same thing to Resto, actually. I hope they update the tree form a little bit.
But are they though? Because that's a glyph.
Sal, I want to talk to you about something.
Feral. I got my feral form
Let's not get technical here about all this different stuff. Let's just say that it needs to happen. And
Well, for you, I wish this.
yeah,
It's not gonna happen.
Darius, that is a very cute cat.
It's savage.
I remember hanging out with Red Sox.
He's ferocious. You got to watch out.
Yes. Some other things that happened as well. One of the things that I'm kind of excited about is he talked about survival hunters a little bit. With survival hunters, remember those guys are going melee for Legion, and it's going to be kind of cool, I think, because one of their abilities is a harpoon ability. Kind of like Death Grip, where you're going to be able to shoot out a harpoon and grab things and bring them to you. And
Get over here.
Yeah, it's a
I like
scorpion
that. Yeah,
ability.
it's scorpion. It totally is. It's going to be amazing. And so I'm really looking forward to that. They actually talked about specs in general, and they said, you know what? Pretty much every spec is going to get hit with something. They're gonna change some things. They're gonna make sure that each spec feels a little bit different from every other spec. They might change some names around of some things like Shadow Priest. The resource is gonna be Insanity.
That's cool.
It fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary, dude. That kind of insanity. Oh my god. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of looking forward to that. And they talked about rogues and about how they were going to be, really try to make sure that rogues are 3 different specs. And they kind of talked about how one was going to be more like a pirate, one was going to be more like a ninja, one was going to be more like a stealthy poison guy. So yeah, it's all looking pretty good for that stuff. Oh, one of the things that they did say though is that there will be no new major glyphs. And everybody that makes glyphs kind of went, oh, there goes my gold.
Seems.
So-
I mean, they could make gold by adding more minor glyphs, though. That's nice because the minor glyphs are always fun. They're cosmetic things. They're weird things, and I love when they add those things.
Right.
They're good. Add more.
Yeah. I don't mind.
Do it, Blizzard. just do it.
And apparently he talked quite a bit about professions, about how there's a whole new team, like a big team working on professions to try to make them relevant, to try to make them cool, to try to make them better. Sal, what was your, do you really work at professions at all?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well,
But you didn't have to, right?
no, I definitely use alchemy, just for myself, and I always have the mats with me in case someone I'm raiding with needs, a pot or a flask. But I never tried to make money off of it anyway, like herbalism and alchemy, maybe sell some, herbs somewhere, but now they're kind of useless in that regard.
Yeah.
You can basically vendor them if you don't need them.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't do much with it. They're irrelevant now.
It's tough. It's tough. This expansion for sure. To really think of professions as being a thing, they kind of minimized them quite a bit. But this is interesting anyway. It might be something to actually do. That could be kind of fun, and who knows? Who knows? I hope that they do well. I mean, they're doing like profession only quests and stuff like that as well. So
that sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
And they're doing like spec only like things with your. I assume there's quests with your spec to get your
artifact weapon and to build it up, and you're going to have your class hall, right? So you're going to have like these class quests out there, and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool as well. I kind of like that they're kind of trying to make everybody feel like an individual again.
Yeah, but how many zones are we not going to have because we've got like individual spec quests? I don't know. We're getting a lot though.
Yeah. Well, so are you talking about like the different teams and about how they utilize resources and stuff like that for WoW?
Yeah, and I recall them saying for Pandaria that they had a choice between doing like class quests and doing like a whole different zone, and they chose the zone instead. That's kind of where I'm basing that on.
Right. And I know that Darius, maybe you can back me up on this too. I don't know. But my understanding of it is that there are many different teams for many different things, and that one team working on certain areas does not mean that a team working in other areas can't do their thing.
No, it's completely false. For every pet they add to the game, we lose a raid tier. Yeah, for every transmog item they put in the game, we lose a raid boss. I can't believe you didn't know this.
Right. Darius, I think you are
Dork of the Week.
Yeah. So
Yay!
Third time we've played this show already.
Well, we played it a couple of times before the show.
Yeah, so. The raid team is totally separate from the pet battle team or the garrison 2.0 team.
I would think that quests are only tied to zones because of the need to have space to have all those quests happen. So
yeah, and I wouldn't really want the guys writing the quests and designing quests to be designing the raid tiers anyway. Like they're two separate things. Those guys, they're different.
Yeah. The big thing, the two big things for lore reasons, are as follows. Illidan is ready to lead demon hunters against the Burning Legion. So Illidan is going to be our friend. Kind of knew that because with demon hunters there, you got to figure he is the demon hunter, right? So kind of makes sense. And there are plans for Jaina.
What is going to happen to Jaina after they...
I don't know, Sal. What is going to happen to Jaina? What are your thoughts on what can happen to Jaina?
Well, everyone's going to turn towards Khadgar and be like, oh, you helped us with the Iron Horde and you're a new leader now and we don't like this dragon lover anymore. And they're going to kick her out because they like Khadgar more. Like, Jaina's not going to do anything wrong because she's awesome.
Because she's great.
Because she's Jaina.
Yeah.
Like, what is she going to... No, they're just going to have a vote and say, we like Khadgar now. And he's going to live in his, scary castle. And we're going to be fine with that. And he's going to be king of the Kirin Tor now. Go away, Jaina.
I would argue that the bigger RP news is the fact that the park in Stormwind won't be repaired still.
This is true, too. And this is upsetting for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't you think that that Varian Rin might have a little bit of something to say about this nonsense? I mean, come on,
this
guys. I mean,
this is ridiculous.
The guards, just pick it up. Just put some sod over it. I don't know what you need to do.
This is worse than the Big Dig in Boston. This is
because it's gone on for 3-4 years now, where it's blown up.
This is insane. It wasn't even that big of a park. Come on.
I know, it's a small park. Fix it. Just fix it, Blizz.
Yeah, but it was for the Night Elves. The Night Elves need an area.
Maybe Jaina is going to fix the park. That's where she's going to go after they kick her out.
She's going to go to the Parks and Rec department in Stormwind.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do a series about her.
Yeah, exactly.
Where she goes on goofy adventures.
I'd watch that show.
That'd be great.
As long as Aziz Ansari's in it, I'd watch that show.
I think we came up with a really good plan.
Blizzard, that's ours. You have to pay us royalties if you take it.
Right. Totally.
So backpack. They've always said that they can't update the backpack because of the way it's built in the game and whatever. So it's going to get updated finally after 11 years, 12 years.
They said it might get updated.
It said might.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Have you met
here.
Blizzard before?
There are certain things that they can do and there are certain things that they can't do. Updating the backpack has not been a priority.
It's essentially, do you want an expansion or do you want an updated backpack? That's From what I understand, that's the level of engineering.
I'm not sure that the teams necessarily work like that, Darius, but
I don't know. Have you tried to update the backpack?
No. And yes, as Krista says in the chat room, we'll believe it when it happens. Kind of like the moose mount. I mean, they finally came around on the moose mount at least, so that's good. But we'll see if they can come around on the backpack. And in other news, in stat news, multi-strike is gonna just go away. They're done with it. They're like, screw it. Let's just get rid of it.
Okay.
I don't know. Darius, do you think that multi-strike was a problem?
I don't think so. I think it's one of those stats, though, that is hard to gauge, and it's hard to tell if it's effective or not, especially for healers. Multi-strike and leech and those kind of things are such weird stats for healers that I think they're finding people are more confused or frustrated with multi-strike than they should be. So they'll probably just take it out. I think they might take out a few others as well, or change a few others maybe. But multi-strike is a really weird stat. So
right.
That's going away.
It was kind of one of my top 3 stats anyway, or 3 secondaries anyway. So I don't know. I will miss you, multi-strike. I will miss you. Also, gnomes are very upset because there will not be gnome hunters. We've seen the outrage in the gnome forums. It's a very small forum, but we've seen
short forum.
we've seen outrage in using small caps. And it was really, really horrible.
And
so,
Marconin is really upset.
Yeah. No gnome hunters. Sorry, guys. Anything else that you guys saw from the DragonCon stuff? I mean, there's not a heck of a lot going on. We're still getting ready for Legion. We're still trying to find out all this new information. 6.2 is out, so at least we're flying. Most of us, some of us. Not me, but that's all right. I don't mind.
People that matter.
All right.
I leveled up one of my alts a few levels just flying around for about an hour, picking up those like rare boxes.
Yes, such a good
plenty
way.
of XP.
All the treasures and stuff.
You've got like 20, 15, 20, 30% left, and you're just like, man, I don't want to do any quests anymore. Fly around for like a half hour picking up treasures, and you'll ding, no problem.
Yeah, right on. Well, maybe I should get flying then, and then level up my alts.
Maybe.
We'll see. Maybe. All right.
You've got plenty of time.
We do. And speaking of time, we have plenty of time to go into the Battlenet news. Yay. So when we can, we'll take a look at some of the big headlines happening around the rest of the Blizzard games. And first up, Overwatch beta starting soon. Ooh, Ooh. Now, there was an email sent out to winners of Gamescom giveaway in Germany last month, essentially, asking them which region they wanted to join the Overwatch beta in, whether it was North America or Europe. And they said if they did not receive a response before September 4th, they would automatically be flagged for European access, which makes sense because it was in Germany. And so people freaked out and they were like, oh my God, Overwatch. But Darius, is there Overwatch yet?
I thought everybody was playing Overwatch. I didn't realize you guys weren't in the beta.
Oh, you're in the technical alpha? Is that it?
But I think
talk about that some more.
I think the beta is not as soon as everyone thinks. I'm still guessing BlizzCon is when the beta is going to go live.
They said fall. So,
yeah.
So, but as of right now, it is not a thing. So keep your pants on.
But it said September 4th.
Well, if you don't respond by September 4th, they're gonna flag you for European access. That's all that it said. It didn't say
Liz
it starts.
Promised us September 4th.
It didn't say September 4th.
So I'm really mad that it's not out yet because I could have been at Gamescom and been a winner.
It sounds like you've been on the forums. Maybe you're one of those posters.
Maybe.
Oh. Maybe I should stay away from that then.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for it, though. This means that it's coming soon, right? I mean, TM, of course. But, I mean, Sal, are you a big Overwatch person? Have you been watching what's going on? Have you been watching the vids? Have you been getting ready, preparing mentally for Overwatch?
Totally. And I was playing it at BlizzCon, and it's fun. I've never been into shooter games so much, but this one, I don't know, there's a story and it's fun and it's not like so serious of shooter games. And I don't see people like cussing at each other in this one as much, you know.
It's still
like, it'll happen.
Game.
It's still a shooter game. But no, I love the artwork. I love the story that's come out. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. I think everybody is. Darius, are you excited about this? No, you're not.
Nah.
You're fine. You're fine.
I hate fun. So.
And I know that you know, the other games as far as they go, you know, Hearthstone and Heroes especially, those guys have been focusing mainly on a lot of tournaments lately. Because they're getting ready for BlizzCon. There's a new college competition for Hearthstone where teams of 3 from the same college can get together and form a team and go and compete for their college or university, which is great. And this is North America only, I think. But so they're doing a bunch of different tournaments for that. One of the other news in Heroes was that they are saying, you know what? Don't be a troll. They are saying, don't do it.
I saw that.
Don't do this. They have a new post. They have new reporting options for reporting players, including abusive language, not just harassment. And they now have this silence penalty. Darius, do you know what this silence penalty is? If not, I can tell you. Oh, he is silenced. He was muted. I'm sorry.
I wasn't muted. I was silenced. No, This is just a way for them to deal with abusive players, people that are just being trolls or being jerks or whatever. If they get reported a certain number of times, they're just automatically silenced for 24 hours. And then every time they incur this infraction, that time is doubled. So, and there's no max on it. So you could, if you're a repeat offender, end up not being able to type at all in Heroes.
For years.
Yeah.
for possibly years.
Yeah, and it grows, like it's doubled each time, so it's 24 hours and 48 hours and then 96 hours. You know, it's not like 24 hours and 24 hours and 24 hours. So It quickly grows. Hopefully people learn their lesson. But I think this is a good way to deal with this. You know, the people being jerks is just don't let them type. You know, they already have other ways of dealing with people that are. They have a way now to report people for for being AFK or for basically feeding or whatever else it is, just running at the enemy and dying over and over again. So this is a good way to deal with the text part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully we can, because I haven't been. I think that the chat for the most part that I've seen anyway has been okay anyway. There hasn't been anything too flamey in there. Maybe occasionally, but Sal, do you play Heroes much?
I have been ever since you taught me about eating ham on the bone.
Yeah. No, I think that's going ham on the core. I think that's
what you taught me. You were explaining that to me.
Right.
And no. Since then, I've been dabbling.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I only kind of play with friends. So
good.
I only get abused by Belchnickel,
Well.
So I'm not going to report him that often.
No.
Usually.
Usually.
Once a day is enough.
Yeah. So I haven't experienced anything like this at all because I play with people I know.
That's good. So and this is just another way to kind of keep the community moving in the right direction, and I think that they do a good job of that at Blizz. So that's always good. Also, for Heroes fans, Rexxar is available today.
So cool.
This is so cool. Ranged warrior, ranged melee class, which is weird. But it's Rexxar and his bear, and you get to control both of them kind of, and it's pretty neat. And you get to throw axes and like, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Have you guys seen this? Have you checked them out? Darius?
I checked it out.
No,
you did?
I have not seen Rexxar yet.
Sal, what did you think about Rexxar?
Well, I just clicked on the thing of the video, and I like having lots of options. Mm-hmm. Like how do you want to play it? And then you choose your talents to figure out how you want to play. You want to be more melee. You want to be more ranged. And Rexxar is a cool character.
Yes.
You always want your Rexxar in there.
I'm a proponent of all hunters everywhere, and Rexxar is amazing. So there.
What other hunters would you have?
I think they have pretty much all the. I guess Illyria or whatever her name is,
right,
would be another one. I don't really know, like any other like big hunters that I can think of, but any hunter that comes into the game, I'm really happy. Even like Vala.
Yeah.
Just anything that shoots arrows is cool in my opinion. So. But yeah, it's very cool. The other thing is that Diablo patch 2.3.0 and season 4 are now live, and I've been playing this quite a bit as well.
Yes, that's all anybody's playing at the moment.
I know, and I don't know what it is because I don't even know if I really. So I haven't played this game in a while, and then I picked it up and I was like going, I can't stop playing. And I don't know why, because it's just like beating the crap out of things and collecting loot, but maybe it's the loot collecting that I really like.
It's the shinies. There's so many shinies so fast.
There are so many.
It's great.
So many. So have you been playing a lot, Darius?
Not a lot. I've had a lot else going on. There were a lot of people playing it at PAX. In fact, some of the people working for and with me at PAX were hard to get to do their job because they were playing it all day long because it released while we were at PAX.
Right.
So they were all playing constantly. And then my raid team, forget keeping them around or interested after raid time right now.
Right. It's all Diablo all the time now.
Yes, it's all Diablo.
Sal, have you been playing?
Not since the patch, no. But that's one of those things for me. It's so good. It's hard for me just to play for a little bit and put it down. It's like this like crunchy, wonderful candy that, I can lose like 3 or 4 hours in really easily.
Right.
So I'm kind of resisting, when I have like time, like maybe I'll take a weekend and make some sandwiches and close the doors and,
make some sandwiches, close some doors, all the windows, of course, got to make sure that it's dark. as possible.
dark,
Yeah.
air conditioning,
And then-
and then just like sink into Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
we're still
I got-
talking about Diablo.
I
Oh.
got some I got kind of lost in some Rift action as well, and I like started off in story mode because I was like, I'm used to that. I made a seasonal character and I started off in story mode because that's what I knew, right? And I really hadn't played since they came up with all the Rift stuff and whatever. So it's been like a long time since I played. And then I was like, okay, what's this thing? What's this Rift thing? Let's try this. I'm like, oh, no story and just bash the crap out of everything? Perfect. Let's do that for a while. And so I did that for like 2, 3, 4 hours. And then my wife called down and said it was the next day or whatever. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So now I'm up to level 40, I think. Which isn't bad. I mean, because I had a week off in Portland, so I had a week where I wasn't playing video games at all. So that's not too bad. I don't know.
No.
It's pretty good. All right. Anything else? Anything else happening with Blizzard games out there that you guys are aware of? Okay. All
No
right.
new news lately on Titan.
No news on Titan.
That's a bummer.
Titan, your boots. All right.
Everyone I know is playing Hearthstone right now.
Really?
Like everybody at work. We have like a chat room at work that's only for video games because we were like banned from the other like normal work chat rooms. So this is where you talk about video games, and like all the engineers, all the salespeople, whatever, we're all like talk about video games as one place, and every single one of them are playing Hearthstone.
That's cool though. That's awesome. And with the new expansion, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see how people are building their decks. That's for sure. I've been playing it off and on, and I haven't seen like the Inspire deck come out or anything like that. I haven't seen like, you know, the new big deck from this expansion, but I've seen like some of the cards kind of creep in from time to time. That's about it. I don't know what you've seen, Sal, if you've seen that or not.
Well, all I've seen is people at work like posting like they're spending their entire paychecks like trying to get all those legendary cards. You know, like I gotta have a gold one. I gotta have a gold one. So I don't know. I can't play against those guys because I don't. You know, I spend $10 here, $20 there, maybe buy an expansion or whatever. But like these guys are just sinking money into it to try to get those boss cards.
Right.
Yeah, I just play for fun. Oh, try this. I love Hearthstone.
Here's what you do. You do your dailies, you get your gold for, you know, every day. Just keep being diligent at it and buy new packs with that gold. I mean, it's just that easy. It's not like it's you can do it on without paying any money for it. So
Plenty of great players do that.
You can, but it takes a little bit more time to do it that way, but that's all right. That's cool. Well, let's take a look. Actually, we do have a question this week for leading the raid, and so we'll dive into that now.
Leading the raid.
When we can, we take a look at issues for raid leaders, and this week we have a listener question. And Darius, I'm wondering if you can read this for us, please.
Sure. This is from Gil on Hyjal, US Hyjal. It says, I assist in leading my raid, my guild/raid team. With how difficult raids are in this expansion, we have had to ask people to step out so that we can progress due to them having low DPS or HPS. I have a few IRL friends that we had to ask to step out. I've studied up their respective classes and tried to help them what I could, and they're still not improving. I do not remember Cataclysm, for example, being this difficult. What are some tips you guys have for dealing with the issue? I really do not want to lose fun guildies whose only issues are not being able to pull decent numbers in raid.
All right, so we're talking about having to pull players so that you can progress against bosses because they're not pulling their weight as far as numbers go. And I don't know. I mean, this is definitely a new regime in raiding, and there's definitely a lot more player responsibility. Would you both agree to that? Yes.
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 This is also an audio podcast. I just want to say, I'm just kidding. What? Nodding is cool. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so Darius, maybe I know that you have a lot more experience with the mythic side of things. I know that you have had to do this for mythic stuff, especially. But I think we're seeing this even in heroic difficulty, right? I mean, where we're having to like pull people out and say, you know what, it's just not working right now. How do you deal with having to pull people out, especially when they're friends of yours?
Oh, I mean, it's really, really hard when they're friends of yours to say, hey, you're not cutting it. We need to sit you or whatever it is, because you want to raid with them. You want to share your that time with them and have fun. But there are some people that just whatever it is, whether it's the gear that they have, or it's maybe just the ability, or something's just not clicking and their numbers are just really low. And in this expansion, and even so in the last expansion a little bit, you have to be able to pull those numbers, because there's more responsibility on the individual player to not just stand in mechanics. And if these guys are really good at not standing in mechanics, that's one thing, but to pull high numbers, if you're pushing content, you can't carry as many people as you used to be able to before. The expectation is that everybody's going to be alive and everyone's going to be doing the damage that they need to. Once you get a little bit more gear, that's a little bit easier, and you might be able to bring these people back in. But if you've had talks with them, if you've tried to help them, if you've done all you can, there's not much else you can do. You don't want the 20 or 30, however many other people that are in your raid to have to suffer because one or two people can't pull the numbers that they need to. And it's unfortunate, but it's, you have to look out for the greater good, I think, in this situation. And hopefully if they're your friends, they'll understand that predicament and they won't fault you for it, or they won't begrudge you for it.
Right. Now, Sal, I know that you've been in larger groups, especially, I know that you were in Salad Senate, and those guys are huge. I mean, they were like the first casual 25-man raid team that I've ever experienced in my life.
They were the premier 25-man raid team of the Convert to Raid Guild.
That's right. And they were doing it on a casual basis and actually doing pretty good too. So they're definitely still around, and they still go, oh, but we were the first. We were the first ones right.
in Convert to Raid Guild on Airy Peak.
That's right, they were. So now, being a part of large groups like this, you probably had to deal with this as well, right?
We did.
So what do you think about this predicament?
I think the problem here is keeping your friends once you've asked them to step aside, and maintaining that relationship, and finding like a way to make it positive. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, we really like you. You're just someone we'd like to hang out with, but really, every time you get into that Scooby-Doo monster, you crash and burn. And
he's the worst, by the way.
The Scooby-Doo monster.
Remember that guy, the Scooby-Doo monster?
Oh yeah.
Because that was a raid wiping thing. That was one of those, personal responsibility fights that you couldn't carry people through. If someone did that wrong, the whole thing wiped, and so many people did terribly on that boss. Mm-hmm. And that whole tier had stuff like that in there, and we did have a rough time. Mm-hmm. And but how do you make it into a positive thing? I don't know that we figured that out. They should understand, like you said, Darius, but does anyone ever understand?
Well, especially
when you ask them to step aside.
And I think the more casual the group is, the harder it is to understand too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, when we try to do this, like Good to the Last Drop, the group that I started earlier, and I've only had the chance to raid with a handful of times, unfortunately. Like everything just fell apart. Like my whole schedule just went, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm only going to raid every once in a while with these guys. But we've run into that before, where we're like struggling against a boss or whatever, and you have to stop and you have to say everything to everybody again, and you have to go and you have to try to plow through again. And if you can't do that, then you're looking at making changes somehow. And sometimes those changes are just saying, you know what, buddy, I'm sorry, but you've got like 5 DPS against this boss, and that's just no good. That you're not carrying your own weight, and it's horrible. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you do have to do it, and you just I don't know. It's really tough, I think, when you get into casual and heroic mode where you're doing that. It's definitely more difficult than Mythic in a lot of ways, you know?
In Mythic, people seem to understand. Like, yeah, I can see here are the numbers. Here's what happened. Here's how I died. I'm not pulling my weight. All right, man, I got it. But then you get the whole, but we're a casual team.
Right?
Yeah. I would hope that if the person would understand, if they're friends with everyone in there, if they could personally understand that, hey, I'm holding everybody back, that, maybe, but I don't know. It's such a hard one because some people, they can't, whatever it is, whether it's, I don't know. I don't want to make any assumptions because I don't want to offend anybody, but it's, you just got to make that connection that, hey, maybe this isn't for me.
And I think one of the misconceptions, especially when you move further in heroic progression, and I'll talk about it that way, is that people think you can still power through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think you have to be a better player. I mean, I think you have to step it up as a player to make it through those later bosses in heroic difficulty as well. So, I mean, if you're used to just overpowering a boss and just saying, oh, this is just another patchwork fight or whatever, where you're like, okay, we'll just knock him down. It'll be easy. This is just like a Hellfire Assault. Sure. No, guess what? It gets a little bit harder as you move through. So on those harder bosses, you have to give more of an effort. And so I think all players need to realize that at some point. I don't know. Just my thought. Anything else on this one? Because
this isn't just a WoW issue though. Like this is prevalent in all competition. This kind of stuff. Like
sure.
There's always, everyone has to work together. All 20 people, 15, however many it is, and if one person isn't pulling their weight or able to do it, they have to either realize it or someone has to say something because you just can't. You need to work together and you need to not have one person hold everybody back because then everyone just gets angry at that one person and I don't.
And then they go, "Oh, Dave!" It's always Dave, and
it's always
Dave
or right. Tim Tebow. Either way, you might have to cut somebody.
It's Tim Tebow holding back the team again. Tim,
like the Phillies or the Eagles.
Right,
you might have to cut Tim Tebow.
Right.
Sorry.
Get it right, Darius.
Yeah,
I did the same thing.
Right. Exactly. All right. So I think that's a very difficult one. Good luck as you move through, Gil. And
indeed, let us know how it goes.
Yeah, please let us know how it goes, and if you find something that works too with friends, make sure to let us know because that's a tough one, especially when you're dealing with like real life friends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're sitting next to you, you go, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're out. Go get a beer or something. We'll see you on the next boss." I don't know. That's hard. That's harsh. All right, let's move on. We've got a couple more questions, and then we'll get the heck out of Dodge.
We've got mail.
We do. And if you have a question about anything for us, about rating or anything else, just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. Email us at converttoraid@gmail.com, or you can call our raid line, 612-787-RAID. And first up is from Praven, and I will read this one. I was wondering about your thoughts on Demon Hunters being the only class able to only to wield glaives. They mention info about it going forward, but there has been no mention for those whom have been farming the old legendary glaives off of Illidan. If they were suddenly out of luck, I'm sure many players who have one but not the other would be upset and would have to start farming all over again. Since to get the achievement, you have to equip the legendary, just having it in the bag will not proc the achievement. I learned from experience. So, Demon Hunters will only be able to use glaives, nobody else. They said that, right?
Yes.
So is this going to take the legendary away, do you think? Darius?
I don't think so. I think going forward in that expansion, everyone's going to be using the artifact weapons. The artifact weapons for Demon Hunters will be glaives. You won't be able to get the artifact glaive as a hunter. So I think that's more what they're talking about. There's no way they're going to take away the ability to equip the glaives, the war glaives from from the legendary one from everyone else. There's no way that's going to happen.
Are those actually denoted as glaives, or are they
I don't think so.
One-handed weapons of some sort, like
fist weapons or something like that? But yeah, there's no way they would take those away.
All right. Cool.
I think they just mean the artifact weapon.
Gotcha.
But could be totally wrong.
Who knows?
It's a good chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Sal.
And we do have another one that I'm going to read as well from Bronzebeard EU. Hey, everyone on the show. I was hoping you guys could help me with the problem I'm having to do with my guild and raiding currently. I've been with this group for about a year now and have a few friends, but I'm getting bored and not having fun anymore. Heimal, we cleared only 6 of 7 normal, BRF 9 of 10 normal, barely, and right now we're 4 of 13 normal, having only gotten council this past week. The loot from normal raids isn't exciting. This is true, since I have several others that are 700 plus eye level already, so it's not a gear issue with bosses not dying, just people not paying attention to the mechanics. So what do you guys think? Should I leave to find a guild more to my wants or needs, or should I stick it out here so that I don't upset people, keeping in mind that I'm a tank? Ooh, a tank. Thanks, love the show. Sal, I want you to weigh in on this one, please. What do you think about this predicament?
I think you should leave. If you're not having fun, don't play. Like the first part of the email I was reading, I'm just thinking, just unsub until the expansion comes out. You're looking for another group. Yes, look for another group. Give your group time, though. You are the tank. That is a responsibility, and just leaving that's not cool. Give them maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple raids, but you gotta leave. It's your $15 a month,
or your however many,
or your token.
Gold. Yeah, your token.
Your 22,500 gold.
That's right. Darius, thoughts?
I agree. I think. It's your subscription. You should be having fun. You've made a few friends. Maybe they'll go with you. Maybe they're looking for the same thing. You could talk to them. Maybe they are looking for a bit more. And there's a couple people like with the previous email that are holding everybody back. Maybe you could ask them to step down and then make the progression you want. But if that's not the case, then I suggest moving on. Find what you're looking for in the game, and maybe ultimately WoW isn't what you're looking for. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you like WoW and you like the people you've met, but maybe you're actually a Rocket League pro. So
wait, did you say Rocket League?
No, I did not. You heard Rocket League.
Oh, I love Rocket League.
But I said Heroes. Oh,
I like Heroes too. I really do. I like Heroes a lot, so it's good.
But I agree. It's just find what you enjoy. Maybe it's not this raid team. Maybe it's not WoW. Maybe it's pet battles. I don't know. But you shouldn't have to stick around and enjoy it and do something you're not enjoying. But like Sal said, give them fair warning, though.
Yeah,
it is
I think especially as a support class, it helps to have a little bit of time to make sure that your spot is covered, and as a tank, that's a big step for somebody. But if you can always for the next couple of weeks, if you put in your 2 weeks notice, you could say, yep, but I'll run as DPS and we can get so and so geared up as a tank, and I can take over for the hard bosses, and then they can roll on loot or whatever. So get everybody ready, and find a new team. It's always it's tough to leave a team sometimes because you make friendships or whatever. But if in the end, if you're not having fun at the game that you're playing, or you're not playing the game you want to play, either way, I think it's time to step out and go adventure with other folks, and that's cool. That's always cool. All right, I think we've done more than enough this show, so I'm going to play this.
Caused enough damage.
That's right. We have. And we'll give a little shout out to listeners who recently gave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Isn't that right, Darius?
Yes, we have Z Snaps. We have JB Shep 44.
Okay.
And that's it we have since the last show.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for the shout outs, and I know that there were a lot of comments on the YouTubes for this last show, and everybody said that Shark did a great job, and we love Shark. But we blame him.
Great.
But we blame him for everything. Again.
It's probably true.
Of course. But thank you for all the comments on the YouTubes as well. Any shout outs this week from you guys at all? Sal, big shout out to you, of course, for coming on the show, for braving coming on the show.
Braving the Darius gauntlet.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to my brothers Navox and Belschnickel, and I got to come on Convert to Raid before you guys did.
Wow. Rubbing it in. Nice. I like it.
Yes.
And I have a shout out to Bajira, who is known for his PvP action and also his physique, because he actually just won the overall men's physique contest thingy at Muscle Beach this weekend, and that's pretty amazing. So good on you, man. That's awesome. And that's it. So I'm going to bail out of that, and then I'm going to play this. There we go. And, of course, a big shout-out to you guys out there for everything that you do. Chat room, big shout-out to you guys as well. See you all in here every single show. It's cool. I like it. And thank you for taking the time to rate us on iTunes. Thanks for joining us here at the show. Thanks for joining us at home as well. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for all the questions. And please feel free to join in on the conversation we're having at any time. You can email us at converttораid@gmail.com. You can call us and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at ConvertToRaid or individually. Isn't that right, Darius?
Yeah, you can follow Pat Crane. He is at Pat Crane with a K.
Yes.
Me, I am at Bored Mind, and Sal.
You are at Summer_Sal.
Wow, that's a great memory.
Summer_Sal.
That's right.
I know it by heart.
Pretty good.
It's totally
also
cool.
convertedpodcast.com.
That's
for
right.
The Converted Podcast.
And if you guys haven't checked out, if you guys are a part of the CTR Guild community and you have yet to check out the Converted Podcast, please do. Those guys put on a very fine show. There's updates about the Guild, updates about everything, all the haps, the events. We talk to the officer. They talk to the officers and the community at large. So check them out. Converted Podcast.
We talk a lot about raid team and the different raid teams and who they've killed this past couple of weeks.
Right.
So
yep,
we like to do that.
Yep. And
I should give a shout out.
Go ahead.
To I was on a podcast earlier this week or last week. Checkpoint Ahead is the podcast. I think they're checkpointahead.com. And they do general gaming stuff, but we talked about WoW, obviously, when I was on.
And rating.
And a bunch of other stuff. And rating, yeah. So check those guys out.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to me again, which I don't know why you would.
Right. And you can join the Bazooba Guabo Nation by heading over to Convert to Raid, where we have show downloads, forums, videos, audios, tons of links for raiders, and so much more. It's all over at converttoraid.com. And we also have converttoraid.com/live for our live shows. We have converttoraid.com/guild for everything about the guild. And we also have everything else over at signalsmedia.com as a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. The Converted is a part of that one as well. So there. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for this show. Sal, thank you once again for coming on the show. It was really great to have you, and for that you get big applause.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you on our next show next week at our regular time, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central. For all the guys that Convert to Raid. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.